John Miles has signed for Leeds United as head of recruitment. He will start most of his work in the summer, but I'm sure it's going to kick into gear right now. This is really exciting when it comes to Leeds United. We are building somewhat of a framework. It is the 49ers framework, and we're going to get into exactly why this potentially could be a very, very good deal for Leeds United. We're going to speak on what's changing at the club and how they are looking Premier League ready. Now, I understand that's going to cause a little bit of controversy. Leeds are still in the Championship. We are still not even in the top two. We are still competing with three other very, very good teams. But I think it's really important, and we did this last night as well, to look at the specifics on why the 49ers are putting certain people in place to get Leeds ready for that next step. Now, the 49ers are all about innovation, creativity, and the new wave of technology. And we can all see that with the Silicon Valley imprint that the 49ers are having, not only on their own franchise in the States, but are starting to have on Leeds United, with names that maybe you and I hadn't have heard of are coming into the club to lead us toward a very data-led project. And this is very exciting. It's bringing Leeds into that new era, which we've failed to get to for many a year. And the reason behind that is because Leeds have been a reasonably successful operation, but definitely hearts and emotions have got involved with decisions. I think what we can see with the 49ers going forward and what we can see with certain individuals coming in and how they've acted previously, the 49ers aren't going to be letting emotion get involved. They're going to be basing everything on a data report. They're going to be basing everything on analysis. And Jordan Miles coming in, who is an absolute specialist in those fields, is going to be a massive example of this. Now, the 49ers have always been interested in data, but it doesn't even stop on the pitch. It is off the pitch as well. In 2018, the 49ers launched Executive Huddle, which was a connected stadium system designed to help improve how the team captures reports and responds to game day operations at Levi Stadium. It doesn't just begin and end on the pitch with regards to the 49ers. It is off the field as well. They are a complete ownership who focuses on the data analysis and quantitative results to make their idea on several different things. Now, with the 49ers going into the Super Bowl final against the Kansas City Chiefs, there are also examples within their team where they've picked up absolute diamonds or extended contracts, of which maybe people had a little bit of a question on, but they led through data analysis to get these deals done. Now, the San Francisco 49ers made a huge risk when signing Christian McCaffrey. With most teams around the NFL downgrading the value of running backs, the Niners ultimately decided that the cost of 4 draft picks was worth it to acquire McCaffrey from Carolina if they wanted to have a team worthy of winning a championship. That move was a big step in lifting the 49ers from a good offense to perhaps the most efficient in the NFL, and it's a major reason why the 49ers is preparing to play the City Chiefs in the Super Bowl on Sunday. Jed York, who we are all very aware of, said that's the time you want to push your chips in the middle. Now, McCaffrey has proven to be a valuable asset for the 49ers in yards from scrimmage, which is over 2,000, time for the lead in touchdowns, 21, and generating the most first downs, 114 in a regular season. A lot of people as well, when it came to Fred Warner, part of the Niners setup, had raised eyebrows in 2021 when he signed a lavish 5-year deal, but the 49ers thought this was the right move and gave him a huge contract. And now, as we are in 2024, both are going to be rolling out in the Super Bowl final, and both are in the AP All-Pro second team, which is a fantastic achievement for both. So the reason I'm mentioning all of this, everybody, it's not just to talk about the 49ers, but it's to talk about these things that fans like myself and you maybe raise their eyebrows over. And we look at someone like Christian McCaffrey, we look at someone like Fred Warner in their operation, in their franchise, in the States. We look at them, we think, well, okay, maybe at the time that could be an equivalent to us. There could be players who maybe we don't think deserve a long-term contract, or maybe we sign an individual who comes in and we're raising our eyebrow a little bit. Who is that? Have they done anything? It's all data-led. The 49ers base everything on data. We learned when they hired Daniel Farke that there was a huge process in getting him on the side. We all know how long that process took. We're all sat there saying, when are Leeds United going to actually sign someone? When is this going to be, signed, sealed, and delivered? He's ours. But it took hours and hours and hours, days and days and days, essentially weeks and months for Leeds United to sit down and say, look, this is the right person for us based on data, based on winning games, based on winning championships, based on philosophy, based on ethos, based on a Premier League ready guy, not only a championship one. So maybe this comes back to the conversation that we were speaking about yesterday. Is Daniel Farke going to be Leeds United's option if they are to get to the Premier League? I think he will be. I think we all know that the process of the 49ers is meticulous. They don't just hire people on a whim. They don't just sign players via contracts on a whim. They don't just sign players on a whim. It's through a specific data analysis set of specific rules. Now, why this is interesting as well is we saw the complexity of January and what we were all a little bit worried. It got to a certain point and there was no sign-ins. But the 49ers, from when you read around them, don't panic. You know, they're ruthless when it comes to negotiation, but they are specific as well when it comes to negotiation. And it was evident that Leeds only had one or two targets when it came to positional. You know, we're looking at centre-back and we're looking at right-back. We all know that. But if a player doesn't become available, they have a shortlist. If a player doesn't become available and a player isn't ready, I thoroughly believe that they're not going to go in for that signing. They're going to have to see the long-term value of that individual. Now, Jordan Miles, you do wonder behind the scenes if Miles had any sort of impact when it came to recruitment as well. Talking behind the scenes with the 49ers, with the head of recruitment, and with obviously the big play who this window was Nick Hammond, but the big players behind the scenes as well, discussing exactly where they need to improve, why they need to improve, and maybe Leeds United right now are looking at the summer. The churn in the summer is going to be huge. We know players are coming back. We know players are out of contract. We know some individuals are going to be going back to their parent clubs as well after being on loan at Leeds United. The churn is going to be big, whatever the outcome. But the beautiful thing about this is Jordan Miles will be working on this in the background right now via a data-specific analysis for each and every individual player. Will they weigh up the risk and reward of going and signing a Joe Rodon? Of course they will. But which is going to outweigh the other? Would Leeds United rather, if they were to go to the Premier League, sign a world-class centre-back for 35, 40 million and maybe bring a Joe Rodon in as a backup? You don't know. We have no idea what they're thinking. Or would Rodon come in? And as ridiculous as that sounds, would Joe Rodon come in and be a starting centre-back for Leeds United? Would Leeds go up there and decide that it's the right move to go up there with a Dan James at right wing? Will they decide to go in there with a Sam Byram at left back or a Junior Firpo at left back? All of these conversations, it's not just going to be the backroom settings when it comes to the players who are coming back on loan. It's going to be that first team as well. You know, they do recruit specifically. So that's why I don't think you're going to see much movement when it comes to our permanent signings. I think they're going to be embedded within this squad. They were brought in for specific reasons. Now, I know we're talking about the Premier League. I know we're talking about this venture that we're not even there yet. But it is going to be fascinating to see how this data-led recruitment, which has been so successful at the 49ers, evidenced by the Super Bowl final and such a next level of data analysis success that they've had whilst being there on and off the pitch, how that is going to work at Leeds United. And with the likes of Steinson, Hammond, Miles now involved in everything, with the CEO and the CFO all put in by the 49ers not long ago as well. It's going to be fascinating to see how Leeds United enter this summer months, but put your seatbelt on. It's going to be a big one. Guys, that's been it from me. A lot of data analysis. You can also look on SofaScore as well, which is a brilliant app. Free link in the description below if you want to look at the 49ers, if you want to look at Jordan Miles. He'll have a profile on there as well. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think as well, and I'll see you in a bit.